Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Yeah, you know that, don't you? You know we say the things that nobody else dare say on social media, especially YouTube. 97% of them don't say a word because they don't want to lose the press pass. Isn't that right? And you know who you are, all you rimmers out there. Wash your mouth out with TCP. That's what Big P says. Get it rinsed out. We don't want bad breath on us, do we? Eddie Hills and the Can Man, have they split up? Well, I'm hearing it's all not looking so good. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it, if the Can Man has made the break like Chisora did. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, isn't it? Moving anti-clockwise. You thought I was going to say moving forwards then, didn't you? Uh, Let me think. Let me think what we're going to talk about. Let me think. Dillian White versus a Coley. Will it happen? Do I want to see it? Do I want to see Dylan White against a Coley? Yeah, I'd want to see that because I think they've got a beef, haven't they, from back in the day. I think White and his fake brother were trying to intimidate a Coley, and from what I've heard, he stood up to him. So good luck to the Source, Lawrence Coley, aka the Source. So that's good, isn't it? We've still not got a B sample from Conor Ben, but he's saying he's an innocent man. Well, they all are, aren't they? Have we ever heard of a doper in boxing saying, "Yeah, I'm guilty"? Not one. They've all got an excuse. Like when people get beat, there's always an excuse, isn't there? Like, instead of I got beat by a better man. So, but where's Dylan White heading at the moment? Has he a deal with DAZN? Has he a deal with Eddie Hills, the 6-0 Iceman from Billericay? Four by way of. Can't knock a wet echo out though. I don't know, but if White's left him, you'd say he'd be fighting a Coley at Sky, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? A Coley's in the who needs him club, and he's an awful style. Let's hope his style's going to be a bit more exciting now that he's left Johnny Bravo, aka Shane McGuigan. Shane's only a baby, isn't he? What is he? 20 odd? Might be 30 now, late 20s. Old square jaw. He's still a bit wet behind ears, isn't he, really? His honeymoon period over. Well, he's just got punched upside down, hasn't he? Dubois punched upside down and took three 10 counts. And it looks like the Source has left McGuigan as well. Old aka Johnny Bravo. So if the Source has left Johnny Bravo, the honeymoon period is definitely over. Shane will know what it's all about now in boxing, about loyalty and this and that and blah blah blah. He's been around it long enough, and so's his dad. They're experienced enough to know that. But Shane's not an experienced trainer. He's still wet behind ears. But like I said, he's had a good run. They talk a good game. He looks the part, doesn't he? Says all right things. Comes over as a bit of a company man. But he'd say he knows his boxing, but he's one for the future. His dad up Barry always used to say, look, you can't beat experience. That's why we do bits and bobs with Jimmy Tibbs and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, Shane's only a baby. He's got a long way to go, just like Ben Davidson, a.k.a. Boxer Size Ben, a.k.a. Benny from Crossroads. So that's how I look at it anyway. Well, Feb 28th, we've got Lee Wood against Maurizio Lara. That should be a good fight, shouldn't it? I've got Lara to take Lee Wood out there. I think Eddie's cashing Lee Wood in there. He could get beat at any stage, so might as well get some decent money out of Giovanni. What about Anthony Joshua against Dempsey McKean, eh? Oh my God. Did I just say Dempsey McKean? a Tony Sims fighter, eh? An Australian trained by Tony Sims, involved with all that shower down there at Brentwood, Essex, eh? We know what's going to be going on there, don't we? £10 for Dempsey McKean, £10 for Eddie, £10 for Tony. And then when they get near the end, 50 for Eddie, £5 for Tony, 50p for Dempsey. Gee, I'd love to see what Dempsey McKean ends up with after fighting Joshua. Oh my God, he'll be fighting for brass buttons after all that lot of rifled biscuit barrel down there, won't he? Eh? Oh, other than Umar, IFL Umar, and that, what's his name from Boxing King Media, he's putting it on these lot with questions, eh? There's only Umar with any gonads and that Boxing King Media dude. All the rest of them are caught by the wayside, aren't they? The caught between wanting to pretend to be boxing journalists and put food on the table. Grow some gonads is what I say. You know what I'm on about, Coogan, Rob Tebbert. Grow some. It's no good being good interviewers if you're not going to ask the right questions. So, but that Moses at a Tomar, Bricktop's preening like a peacock at the moment, isn't he? It reminds me of Graham Souness, in his pomp when Liverpool were dominating in late 70s, early 80s, strutting around that midfield like a peacock. Well, that's Bricktop at the moment, isn't it? Now he's signed that Moser for a time or whatever, a Toma. But all these top amateurs, we've heard it all before, haven't we? We've heard it all with Luke Campbell, haven't we? Audley Harrison. You know. So even going back to Terry Spinks, he never won a world title, did he? But he won a gold, didn't he, in '56? Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Moses Atama, they're all say Atama, whatever it's called. They're all saying he's going to beat Mike Tyson's record. He ain't got a chance. But didn't we hear all this from Daniel DeBar? Every time Bricktop signs a top amateur or supposedly rumoured top amateur, we always hear that they're going to beat Mike Tyson's record. Didn't we hear that with DeBar? Hey, he got flogged before he won a regular. Well, now they're matching him that carefully. Now they're putting him in with pure waste men. He's getting knocked about. So I see Dubois struggling at the moment with his situation with his trainer because his sister's flying high with Shane McGuigan, and Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, might feel, oh God, I don't want to be leaving here and blah de blah. Mark Tibbs has already knocked me back, and I'm not training with Bowers's. And look, you can take an horse to water, you can't tell horse how to drink it. Dubois can obviously fight, but he's a bit weak in here around the beard. Do you know what I mean? That goatee of his is a bit weird. Maybe he should grow a goatee like Steffi Bulls. One of them village people goatees. That them people wear when they've got a pair of chat pants on. Isn't that right, Dominic Flex Ingle? When you were lead singer of that band in Sheffield with your chat pants on. Maybe Dubois should grow a goatee. Get some chat pants on like them boys. Who knows? Can you imagine that? Oh. Why is the Gad saying that Big Meech needs a tune-up for Dylan White? What planet are you on, Gad? Dylan White and Joshua, they're about the same level now. They've both been knocked about and that. Both been knocked out, both been knocked about. Why on earth would Big Meech need a tune-up for that waste man, Dylan White? Why? What planet are you on, Gad? You're talking utter baba, Gad. Utter baba. Joshua, aka Big Meech, does not need a warm-up for the can man. Dylan White doesn't. Malik Scott's come out and he said that Deontay Wilder He wants to fight Big Meech, but Big Meech don't want that Deontay Wilder smoke. So, interesting. Few people keep coming up to me and say, "Oh, Porky, Tyson Fury's in decline. Do you agree?" Well, yeah, I do agree because he's sitting down on more on his shots and he's not wanting to get on his bike no more and run and fumble his way through, like he used to do back in the day. Probably because he's not got the legs no more for it. All right, that's probably why. Is he in decline? I think as regards his legs is in decline, but I don't think Tyson Fury is in decline as regards his boxing IQ. Bit like Ali, his legs went first, didn't they? But his boxing IQ didn't go, did it? So I just think it's just that Tyson's into the second phase of his career now. So he's not a young man in his 20s no more, and he's in his mid 30s. You can't do in your mid 30s what you did in your mid 20s. So the KSI circus is in town. So Juggy's Spencer Oliver's come out and reminded us all that he were involved with YouTubers. He were involved with the first two big YouTube shows in the UK. Made a small packet on that one, didn't you, Spencer Oliver? And you've got the front to come out working for boxing platforms, going on about what's right for boxing, but yet you were one of the pioneers for KSI and Joe Weller and all that YouTube nonsense in UK. Why do you feel, Spencer Oliver, that you can have your cake and eat it, you greedy little jug-eared monster? Why do you feel that, Spencer Oliver? Why would you want to brag off about making loads of money on YouTube shows and then coming into mainstream and talking about what's good for the sport of boxing? Who on earth are you to be coming out with that? Yeah, you got injured in ring, but you know the risks. Who are you to be coming out with that? Bragging off about making money off these YouTube freak shows and then going on about what's right and wrong for boxing and what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing. You can't have your cake and eat it, but there's too many people like you, Spencer Oliver, and Carlos Sauerland. You want that best of both worlds and Tommy Furies of this world. Eh? Unbelievable. You should crawl under that stone, mate, that you've been hiding under for months. Eh? Unbelievable. Bragging about making money on YouTube shows. Go on, Spencer Oliver. Boasting. You and your mate Jake Wood, you had it off, didn't you? Now look at you, how you've turned on Eddie Hearn, eh? Eh? If Eddie was still at Sky, you wouldn't be like that, would you? Cancelling your DAZNs and this and that and blah de blah. Eh? That's problem in it with boxing, isn't it? Eh? I'm not a big Eddie Hearn fan. We all know that, don't we? But I don't like to see disloyalty. It's one thing I'm not. It's not disloyal. Some of these on here, they're disloyal. They're the way their own grandmas in, won't they, for a few quid on a Monday? And then want the grandma back on a Tuesday, then weigh you in again on a Wednesday. Dogs of war. Dogs of war. You know, Ellie Brooke. She's being trained by Mark Tibbs, isn't she? Ex-porn star or what have you. Mark, what are you doing down there at that gym in Essex? Is it a brothel or is it a gym? What is going on? We've got the gad there talking to that Ellie Brooke about calf and leg strength training on some of these YouTube platforms. He's always there, isn't he, or thereabouts, the gad, isn't he? Any woman in a thong and the gad is there at that weigh-in. He's always there, aren't you, gad? Hey, gad, I'm watching you, you know. When the ice breaks, gad, I'll be there, mate. I'll be underneath it. So you'll be ready. First chance I get, gad. I'm going to get you on Porky's Corner. I'm going to put you under some serious, serious questioning. You know that, don't you? So KSI shows sold out 10,500 at Wembley, eh? In January. Who on earth let these freaks into boxing? That's what they are, freaks. Who let them into this sport? I don't know. I don't know. Eubank Saunders too. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't know. Billy Joe Saunders, fat as a pig Michelin man, being trained by even fatter Barry the Bacon and boxer-sized Benny from Crossroads. What are they going to be able to do with Bill? Except just be cheerleaders and want to try and get a few quid out of that job. They know he's a spent force. Stop it. Let him retire. He's got a few quid. Let him retire and go do what he wants to do. Keep trying to pimp kids out for money. These people have got no shame. These pretend trainers. Hey, do a few boxer size classes. These pretend nutrition and strength and conditioning men, killing the sport of boxing. Just like Don King and Bob Arum in the 90s. Why don't they just park him up in a Shackleton's high seat chair and put him in front of a window and put him out to pasture? Because they're always there or thereabouts, aren't they? The Kings and the Arums. Why don't they just jog on? Johnny Fisher's dad, is he eating his way to an early grave? Eh? Eat two taties more than a wild boar. What is going on here? Every time he goes out for a Chinese or for a burger, we don't have to have it filmed. Jeez, what's going on? Eh? All this YouTube boxing as well, it's starting to do my head in. Has the horse bolted? Well, something's not right, isn't it? We've got all these weirdos and freaks of nature running about. Everybody wants to be a boxer, don't they? Eh? Everybody wants to be a boxer. Where were these people years ago? Where were they? Hey, they were all gamers. Now they all want to be boxers. And you know, you've got people like Spencer Oliver and Callum Sowland welcoming these people with open arms. And Eddie Hearn, he's played his role in it, hasn't he? All of them. And all these media people, they've all played the role in it. You know, sooner or later, something's got to give, and there might not be any boxing. And these people that you've got around today, these pretend media people, they're the ones at fault for giving these people the platforms. Yeah. You heard that song, haven't you? We didn't ruin boxing. Well, they did, didn't they? These people are ruining it for the real boxing fans. That's just my opinion. Okie dokie. But nobody is going to say a word. Not when they're doing views and all that. Nobody's going to say a word. But look, you've got people pulling everybody in one direction, then another direction. And now look what we've got. We've got YouTubers selling out Wembley Arena in January. Couldn't make it up. Okie dokie. Peace out.